Everyone, I hope you're having an amazing day. So today we'll be talking about APIs. I won't be doing any coding today, so instead we'll do configuration to do some APIs. Sound exciting, right? So what we're gonna talk about inbound APIs, right? There are two kinds of APIs in Salesforce. One is inbound APIs, and another one is an outbound API. So inbound APIs, excuse me, is think about something like you are integrating your org with a third party. Let's say XYZ third party, right? And they wanted to consume your services from your org. In other words, they want to consume the Salesforce API, right? To get the information like account or contacts or custom objects you created in your Salesforce, right? So you got two choices, right? in inbound APIs. First, you can expose the out-of-box APIs, right? And the second one, you can write a code to customize the APIs you wanted to expose it, right? So what we're going to do, we're going to talk about the first part, that is exposing the out-of-box APIs, right? And then we have something called outbound APIs. That's where when you consume a third-party APIs, right? Let's say you're integrating with it's some third-party like SAP or Oracle or whatever, right? And then you wanted to consume their APIs, so you're gonna use their APIs to do stuff. Means pull the data, push the data, whichever way it is. So that's an outbound API, right? We are not going to talk about event-driven architecture or service bus or anything today. It's just very basic. So we're going to do a very basic configuration, and we're going to use Postman to consume APIs. Sounds good, right? Cool. Let's dive in. Excuse me. My throat is a bit bad. It's just the weather. It's a bit colder in New Zealand. It's like around 3 degrees last night, but yeah, sounds good. Okay. Sorry, I digress. Okay, so first thing first, you need to log into your org, right? As usual, I've used my developer free edition org. I mean, you can use your developer edition org as well, but please do not try that on the customer sandbox. Cool. So I've logged into my org. I'm in a setup now. If you're not in the setup for whatever reason, go to this setup gecko icon, and setup will take you here, right? Pretty straightforward. Now, looks for apps. Go to App Manager. Right, and what we have to do, we need to create a new connector apps. That's why, because we're gonna use authentication, right? So we're gonna do new connected apps, and I've already created an app. Just wanted to show you how the stuff works, so just gonna walk you through it. Put an app name, whatever you wanted to do. Say test demo, right? Test demo. And then API name, right? Call email, put whatever your email, right? And then you need to enable the settings, right? And then callback URL. So you need to put the URL, which it routes back to, and then use this one, access and manage your data. Move to this side. That's pretty much all you have to do at this stage, right? And then save it. It will take 2 to 3 minutes to create it. So once that's done, right, go to app again, okay, and app manager, and I've created something called demo, right? So this is what I've created, right? And I go to connected here, and I'm just going to do view, and it will show you something like this. And so please pay attention to consumer key and consumer secret. So this is where it's very handy. You need to know this, because if you're integrating with if you're giving this to someone else, right, a third-party vendor, you need to give them consumer key, consumer secret when you click there. Don't worry about it. My org is, I'll be deleting it, so you can't fiddle with it anyway. So, I mean, just a test org anyways. So this is a consumer key, and please keep this key secret, and, it's a consumer secret as well. So these two things are very important, right? And then another thing you need to do is the timeout settings, right? Excuse me. So what we're gonna do, just go to connected apps. All right, for whatever reason it's slow. Just acting funny today. Connected apps. Manage connector apps. And then go to the demo apps, which is Steve, which is my app, and edit, right? So here, you need to set the session policies, right? Timeout. So, I mean, I often put 2 hours, so it's up to you, whatever you want it to do. It's a timeout for your access key, access token, right? So you can put 2 hours, that's fine, based on your requirement, business requirement, right? So that's the thing you need to pay attention to. So that's pretty much we have to do on this side, right? There's nothing much you have to worry about it. All you have to do, we have created a connected app, right? And then we enabled a few settings like the timeout, and then we revealed the access token, customer ID, secret key, and another one. And one more thing, you might need a token. So what are you gonna do? Because you might have to append your password with your security token. So to get the security token, right, you need to go to your settings here, right, and then type security and reset my security token. So when you click reset your security token, it will actually send you a token key in your email. Please save that token key because you don't have to regenerate it again and again, because what happens is that you need to create an integration user first of all, right? Sorry, I forgot to talk about that one. So when you are giving an access to a third party, right, to access your org using an API, you need to give them username, password with the security token, right? And so the username will be your integration user, what are you going to create, and you need to decide as a Salesforce admin or a Salesforce architect what all objects they should be having access to, as well as the fields, right? You need to pay this special attention. You need to work out the plan. Please don't jump onto conclusion and all right, hand over the stuff to you. You need to plan it properly, right? So there are certain objects which you may not want the third party to have an access to, right? So please pay attention to this. And it's very important to create an integration user. Please do not give them admin rights. That's not a good practice unless you think it's really important, right? So I would really shy away from giving a third party full admin right to my org. Absolutely not. But unless it's really very critical, then you can actually create a custom profile and then give access to an objects based on that. You can work around with that, right? So pay special attention to that. And so once you reset the security token, you will get this in email. So you don't have to reset it again and again, please, because it will have implication in your integration. Once you have a security token, keep it aside, right? And you can store it anywhere you want. And because if you reset it, then again, you have to give this reset token to them, right? So we don't have to worry about it. So once you reset it, you keep that aside and you reuse it. That's all it is. Okay, so once we have it, so we need to have a URL, right? So you need to pay attention to the URL. So usually I'm not using a test org. In case if you're using Sandbox, it will be tests, right? But since I'm using a production because it's a free developer account, so I've written a URL address here. So pay special attention here. So login.salesforce.com services auth token, right? This will generate my access key, right? So if it's a test, just put it as test.login.salesforce.com, right? And these are the params which you need to pass in your Salesforce, in your Postman, right? So, and then you will be able to generate the access token. So what we're gonna do, we're gonna jump into Sales Postman here. This is the Postman. And as you can see, I have a login credential and other stuff here. So under params, you will add all those credentials, right? And then what I'm gonna do, and make sure that it's a post, it's not a get, because you're generating an access token, right? So now you got this, and then copy this, and then what are you gonna do? You can do save, right? and now we need this access token here, right? So this access token is the one which you'll be using to get the data. So what we're gonna do, let's query an account, right? So also pay attention to this URL. This is very important, right? We're gonna use this URL, and then you need to append your rest of the API endpoints, right? So the way I do it, because I get confused, I don't know what API is associated with account. It says accounts, but you can't put /account. There is something else that comes before it, because API name, API version. So the way I do it, I go to Workbench. That's my easiest way. So Workbench, I talked about Workbench in detail. If you haven't watched my video, please go to one of my video. I'll put the link below anyway, so you can have a look, right? So this is how it will take you to this environment, right? I don't use Workbench a lot, but just if I get confused, I wanted to know API name, I come here and use it. Otherwise, I prefer Postman. Okay, so since we are using production, right? Since we are not using sandbox, so you choose production and agree to terms and service and log into Salesforce, right? It will take you to your the login page. Right, so pretty nice option. It's an open source tool. I think it's developed by one of the guys from Salesforce who left. It's written in PHP, I believe. All right, okay. Go to utilities, go to REST Explorer, right? This is the information I'm interested into. So I will have some old accounts, so I'm interested in account, right? Just run to see if it works, right? So it works. So this is what I'm interested into. Copy this, right? And then do one thing here in your notepad. The way I do it, I'll just tell you how I do it. So copy this URL, because this is important, right? And then do this, right? All you need to do this. Cool. Go to Postman and go here and copy this here, right? And now we need to do auth, right? And we're gonna have to do let's see, auth2, right? And there's some code from before, so clear that. And take this one, and we go here, and we're gonna go here and copy this one, and we're gonna do send. Voila, there you are, you got an account. Okay, let's look at a very specific account. So let me grab this ID, right? And because right now I got the list of every account, so I don't want that. I wanted to limit to one account. So right, so this is what we got. Nice and easy, right? Cool. So this is an account belong to demo, right? Okay, so what we're gonna do, we can do post, right? We can create a new account using a JSON. I hope you are comfortable with JSON. If not, please go and check it out. JSON is very important if you're dealing with APIs. Please make sure that you have some basic understanding of JSON. You can also use XML, but JSON is mostly commonly used, right? Okay, let's post the account information here. Postman is nice. I mean, I love Postman. So, I mean, I've been using it for other stuff, not only for Salesforce API integration, for other stuff as well. So go to post, and you go to body here, right? And you go to raw, right? And now we're gonna write a JSON. So we're gonna write create an account with just the basic info. So we're gonna do this is a dummy account, right? And then change the text to JSON, right? Okay, and now do post. All right, there you are. Voila. So you have an ID generator, right? And now if you think that it's not important, you can delete it. So using the delete, right? And you can delete it. Right, there you are. So you got deleted. And now to check whether if this exists, just do send. No request found, right? So that's how you do the APIs. You can do web service as well, but we not talk about it because we don't use much web services. But if you want it for whatever reason, yeah, you're most welcome to do that. Right, so yeah, I hope you find this session valuable. So like I said, that today's session is not about code. So you can customize your endpoints, right? When you expose it, you can write a code. You can write an Apex code, you can expose it, that's fine. And based on your requirement, so far we haven't done any such thing because most of the stuff you can get from out of box anyways, right? And so yeah, I mean, and Yeah, that's all I wanted to cover. So if you have any questions and any other stuff you wanted to ask, please put in the comment below. I'll try to answer as much as I can, right? And yeah, and another thing, if you like to subscribe to my channel, please feel free to subscribe. I mean, I'm going to talk about Salesforce, and plus I have other stuff as well. My main intention is to cover as much as the tech side of Salesforce, like more from platform dev, and then going to talk about some architecture as well. And then we're going to talk about Einstein. We're going to talk about machine learning a bit, because I believe that people will say, oh yeah, you don't need to know machine learning for Einstein. I just think call that as a BS, to be honest, because if you don't understand the basic fundamental thing, there's no use of using a tool, right? If you're an architect, if you don't understand how the underlying stuff works, and yeah, it's just like you're just using a tooling system. That's how I think. I mean, I didn't mean to offend anyone, but I mean, so when I start machine learning, I'm going to talk about, machine learning algorithms, basic stuff, so that you get a hang of it when we're talking about it, right? So that's my next activity once once we're done with one more APIs, right? Probably we're going to talk about inbound API using code. So after that, we're going to jump into Einstein. Cool. All right, guys. Thank you very much for your time today. I appreciate it. I appreciate all of you for watching my videos. And so that's being said, greetings and adios from New Zealand.